Welcome to the raw and uncensored Ambitchious podcast. During our time here together, I will be instilling all of the strength, power, and determination you will need to use the very stones thrown at you to build your ultimate empire. We will redefine the word bitch from the derogatory to the acronym being in total control of herself. So let's adjust our crowns and prepare to live life ambitiously.
Yeah, here I am, the original HBIC, Katie motherfucking Boyd. And on today's episode of the Ambitchious podcast, we have the incredible, the fabulous, the hilarious, the one-of-a-kind Elle Dietrich, owner of The Look, Skin, and Wellness in Solana Beach, California, which is part of San Diego. Elle is also the host of the Manic Wellness podcast, and I've been working with Elle for the last year in the Ambitchious Business Mentorship Container, and let me tell you, the things that she has accomplished literally blow my mind on a daily basis. At The Look, Skin, and Wellness, Elle specializes in the treatment of acne, and Elle struggled with acne for most of her young adult life, and her deep desire was to help others who are going through the same challenges. Over the last few years in her business, the more she learned about the body and the mind and that connection, the more she realized that there was a deeper, more holistic approach to healing. And over time, her focus in the treatment room has expanded beyond just skin and now encompasses holistic health, including mental and physical wellness, lab testing, and finding the optimal way to heal from the inside out. Her philosophy is all about daily habits that encourage healthy nutrition, hydration, detoxification, mindfulness, and so much more. And the other subjects that we're going to chat about in this podcast is about sobriety and mindset. And I am so excited for you all across the globe, all of my ambitches, to hear all about her evolution, not only in the treatment room, but in her own personal life. Elle and I started collaborating about a year ago, and we started the Look, Skin, and Wellness app on Mighty Networks, where she continues to educate, empower, and of course, entertain her ideal skincare clients through multiple different facets of skincare, giving them the tools and the courses and the coaching that they require to take their skin and their lives to the next level. Her app is absolutely incredible. She put her heart and soul into it. And I just can't wait for not only for you to listen and be inspired by this young lady who over the last few years has truly thought outside the box, taken massive risks, and of course, trusted me as her ambitious business mentorship coach. So without further ado, let's get into the podcast with the owner of The Look, Skin, and Wellness, Elle Dietrich. Elle, thank you so much for being on the Ambitchious podcast. I am so psyched to get into this today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
This has been a long time coming.
Yes.
We've been talking about this forever, and finally, today is the day, and I'm so excited for all of my ambitious listeners from all across the globe to get all the 411 on everything nitty-gritty that we're going to talk about. So let's get into it.
Yes.
All right. So obviously, I love you, and we've been working together for a while on the app and in mentorship. And one of the biggest reasons why I wanted you so badly to come on the podcast is because you have the most incredible story. And I think it's going to be so inspirational for all of the ladies across the globe to hear your story and also get some really amazing tips and just your wise sage crone wisdom on all things skincare, health, wellness. So, ladies, get your big girl panties on because we're going to go deep today on the Ambitchious podcast. All right.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I love being on podcasts because when they introduce you, they like totally gas you up and they're like, you're the best thing since sliced bread. I'm like, thank you.
You totally are, but gluten-free bread. Because we know that we don't do gluten, right?
Yeah.
We'll tell you about that in a second. Oh my gosh. So I want to start at the very beginning, which is a very good place to start. And I want to know like about how you grew up because you're from SoCal originally.
I'm from Northern California.
Okay, so you're
SoCal.
Okay, so you're from NorCal, now you're a SoCal girl.
Yes.
And so you're a Cali girl regardless. So I want to know like how you grew up. I want your like life story before I know this is like
My deepest, darkest secret. Kick it off.
yes. I love a good deep dark secret story. Hit me up with it.
Okay. So I grew up in the Bay Area, like Walnut Creek area is very nice area. And I have my mom, my dad, my brother that I grew up with, and everything was all fine and dandy. And then high school hit, my parents got divorced, and I don't want to put their dirty laundry out there, but it got a little messy.
Yeah, tends to get messy, especially when people wait so long for almost like their adult children to be grown-ups. I think sometimes that is actually messier because, and I'm not saying divorce is good ever, but when you're a little kid, it's a little bit more easy to digest. And when you get older, it's like, did you feel like your whole life was kind of like this weird lie up until that point? What was that like for you?
Well, I feel like I noticed that their relationship wasn't what it was. Like I said, like fine and dandy. We grew up and Santa came and we were all drinking our hot cocoa in the morning, best friends. And then like a couple of years later, I was like, the vibe's different.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think I kind of like being in high school, I kind of sensed it. But in middle school and high school, I was so obsessed with like what I was doing because I was so anxious at school and like hyper fixated on getting the new shirt that everyone has. And then I kind of was like, oh, it's kind of like off at home as well. And I just felt very kind of lost. And I think that being in that pivotal age when my parents got divorced, I don't know when is a good time for parents to get divorced, but I feel like when I was in that awkward like teenage stage, it was just not ideal because I was like, guys, I need help. I don't know what's going on. I'm a teenager, stressed out.
Right. And so from do you feel like your parents' divorce was a catalyst for so many other things that happened in your life up until now?
Yes, but I don't think that's a negative thing. I used to think it was a negative thing, and just growing up in a household, I mean, again, I don't want to put anything on blast, but growing up with parents that get a divorce, it's not the prettiest sight before it happens. And so I think that each of them collectively, like things that I was going through myself, it all kind of turned into a tornado ball that I used to blame a lot of things on. Like I'm not good enough, not worthy of love. I'm super anxious. And I milked that for years and years and years. And I totally blamed my parents and how I grew up, which is so funny because like I said, I grew up like very privileged. And so like the poor me thing is like, no girl. But I think that I used that as a crutch for a while. And then when I started to really do this deep work on myself and getting sober and taking accountability and being humbled every day, like through all my actions, I kind of was like, oh, shit, my parents are just people that were trying their best, because I give that grace to myself where I'm like, oh, when I did all these shitty things, like I was doing my best, but I don't give that grace to other people. It's like, you hurt my feelings. I'm fucked up because of this way. And it's like, that's not true. And so now I see my parents and everything that happened in a completely different light. And I believe that what I experienced gave me the strength to do things as an adult, like a young adult. And I think I'm really grateful that I have that change of thought now, because I held on to like resentment and this lack of love for myself because of whatever. But
when do you think that actually happened? Like when was the moment in your life after you had gone through your parents' divorce? And I know that we're going to talk a little bit about this because I love this story. Obviously, the listeners out there, just so you guys know, Elle and I have been working together for a really long time. So I know a lot of your story. So I have to kind of act like I don't know all the things, because of the podcast. But when do you think was that moment in your life where you're like, yo, I'm not the victim in this. Everything happens for a reason. This is for my highest, greatest good. How am I going to use this pain to power my purpose? Was there a certain age or was there something that happened that clicked that you were like, oh my God, fuck, like the light bulb moment?
Probably a year into my sobriety, when I was really getting into the work of looking at my past, and not in a way, like I said, a shameful way of like, I did all this stuff, this is why I'm a bad person. It was more just like, this is who I used to be, in active addiction, and now I don't need to act that way anymore. Like that was me acting from a place of survival and pain. And now I don't need to show up that way. And so, but when I first got sober, I was like crying every day and hyperventilating. So my brain could not conceptualize it. So that's why I say like a year into it, when I started to kind of, and now, like I said, doing more therapy to really go a level deeper. I think that's when it kind of clicked, when I was like, wow, I'm in a lot of pain right now. And seeing that grow up, just manifesting in different ways for different people, like we're just people on earth doing our best. And yeah, I caught some crossfire on that, but I know that you guys weren't having fun either. And so that's just kind of what clicked, where I just kind of let go of carrying that weight, because it was really heavy for me.
How long were you in active addiction? Like at what age were you like, okay, you started dabbling and then you kind of figured out like, hey, this isn't just normal young people behavior. This is a problem.
Well, it's funny that you asked that, because I tell people now I feel more like an addict being sober than I was in active addiction, because I can tell like my we'll call them quirks. What's the word?
Yeah, like quirks. Yeah, little idiosyncrasies.
Yeah, it's like food or shopping. Like I just do everything balls to the walls, 0, 100. Or even my emotions when I'm talking to my therapist, I'm like, it's either this or this. And she's like, no, it's not. Like that's not the sliding scale. You can
catastrophizing and it's best
in between. And like the mindset and just kind of like learning more about like addiction and alcoholism and all these things, like that's where I really started to be like, shit, okay, like I see my truth now, because I didn't understand it before. I thought, with addiction, it's like, this is going to sound bad, but this is just an honest perception that I have of people, that when I think of drug addict or alcoholic, I'm like, okay, I wasn't living under the bridge, like smoking meth,
Yes.
I haven't even done a lot of drugs. I just liked one a lot. And so to circle back to kind of what age, I started drinking lightly-ish, because I didn't even know how to get alcohol when I was like 16. But whenever I drank, I would drink till I threw up. Like my friends were probably like, okay, we're not taking this bitch to the party anymore.
Me too, by the way. So I everything, like me and you are literally like so on. Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Simpatico.
Whenever we have our sessions, we're like, we are one.
I know. It's crazy. I love it though. I love it.
But so I kind of just like, okay, I'm 16 to, 18, whatever. I just don't know how to drink. Then I went to college, and my parents were fairly strict. So when I went to college, I was like, no rules, boys, booze, everything in between.
Yep.
And it was the same thing. It's because I chased quieting the voices in my head that just said like, you're anxious, you're not good enough, everyone's looking at you, you're weird, blah, blah, blah. And like when I drank, they kind of quieted a little, but then they started to get louder again. So I would have to drink more. Like I would rather be half unconscious throwing up than not, because it was just harder to hear the voices. And then after a while, it just got messy. I don't even know how I got into this, but I started taking prescription drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go off and on taking them. Like I'd go through phases where I would take them for a couple weeks, and when I would run out, I would just be like, whatever,
move on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in college, I'd kind of like go through phases where I'd be like itching for them. And then I'd get over it, and, still drinking a lot, but everyone was like, when I went to Chico State, shout out Chico State, and the people I went to school with, like, I don't know how you guys made it out there alive. Like we did the craziest shit, and everyone was doing it. So I was like, okay, we're all just crazy. Then COVID hit. And so I was like, okay, I lost my job. No one's working. No one's going outside. Like, why would I not just drink all day? And like, I started taking the pills.
Ditto,
again.
bitch. Ditto.
Yeah. And then, so I was like, okay, now I need to get my life together. And I thought it was fine because I went to esthetician school. I was working a job at night. And then after I graduated, I was working 2 jobs. So if you were that stressed out and busy, you would want to have a drink after work and kind of relax,
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever, didn't think much of it. And then I was working a very stressful job that I was chewing off Xanny bars throughout the day. And then I would take 2 at night, and I started having a lot of ups and downs. And I went to some random ass primary care doctor where I was like, I think I'm bipolar. And of course, like, no, you're not bipolar. You're just like on drugs.
Yes.
And he gave me this crazy medication that was way too much for my body. And I was trying to wean off the Xanax, but my body was so reliant on it. I literally had arm tremors. Like that was the moment where I was like, I think I might have fucked up. I think I did a little bit too much. But then I detoxed like on my bathroom floor for a week and didn't really drink because when I wanted to, it's just like I couldn't just have one drink. So I had to kind of take a break from drinking. To make a long story short, I went to Vegas again, almost died on the bathroom floor yet again. And then right when I got back from Vegas is when I met someone that was in recovery, and I was just talking like I normally do. I'm like, yeah, when you go to Vegas and like take a bunch of Adderall and drink so much and then you almost die in Vegas, haha. And they're like, what? That's not a thing.
This is not normal.
Yeah, I'm like, is this not what people do? Like I used to drink glasses of vodka and just put like Crystal Light packets in it because I was drinking beer. And I'm like, oh, beer's making me fat. It's not addiction. It's not any of that. It's an eating disorder. So I always had an excuse until I got into recovery and I learned more about it. And now I'm like, oh yeah, that's totally not normal. No one was doing that. Just me.
But I think to your point, and not to stick up for you because, we've had conversations, my dad was an addict and an alcoholic for most of my life. Thank God he's sober. I'm so proud of him. It's such an amazing accomplishment. But I think when you watch movies, like I was just watching White Lotus with my husband because everyone's like, you got to watch the White Lotus. So in season 3 with Parker Posey, she's like, oh, I need my lorazepam. And it's funny and it's a joke. And I think that everyone just makes like, it's just like these little funny things about drugs and over drinking. And we, especially if you're American and like, I'm Portuguese, right? When you go to like Europe, people aren't really alcoholics like here. I know this sounds crazy, but people are just like not as bad. Like, I feel like people are just like, they drink because it's part of like their zest for life, but I don't see a lot of hammered people running around Portugal when I go there, where here, like if you go to a party, people want to get like black out, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're like, I'm a good girl again. And then it starts this whole fucking cycle. Yeah. And then because you have like the hangover from hell, you're like, I have to take Xanax to like take myself down, or I need Adderall to get myself going. And it's this whole thing. And people just think this is just a normal life.
Exactly. And that's why I was like, why am I the one that everyone's like so stressed out about? We're all doing it, except I take it like 10 steps too far.
Mm-hmm. Do you think a lot of your addiction though was because the way that you felt from your parents' divorce? Like, and we're not blaming your parents for that, but do you think it was like a lot of unprocessed emotions, or where do you think that voice that you were having a hard time shutting off in your brain that was telling you you're not good enough, who are you to do these amazing things in your life? Where did that come from? Have you gone through that in therapy?
We're kind of chipping away at that. And I don't think that was because of my parents' divorce. Like,
or one particular thing. It was like
one particular thing. I always tell people, like, I don't know why I am the way that I am, because I would love to blame like my parents, my family, and blah, blah, blah. Like when it, like I was saying, the time that was all fine and dandy, like I would have to pull my mattress into my parents' room and sleep on their floor because I was like so anxious to sleep by myself. Or like just in middle school, I remember like, or high school, I would literally leave school because I could not stand being in my skin and being at school. Like I'm like, who has office hours that I can pretend like I want to learn just so I can like not go to lunch or like hang out in the bathroom forever. But I don't know why I'm like that, because if I there's nothing to blame for my family. Like I had everything that I needed up in, during those times.
Yeah.
And then their relationship got a little rocky and the home life got a little wonky, but I was already like that, just like anxious, on edge, uncomfortable in my skin. I sucked my thumb till I was like 10. Like I just had these like need for comfort.
Right.
And that's what I always tell my therapist. Cause I'm like, when my parents got divorced and all that happened, and then I went to college and I was doing crazy shit and I just kept digging myself deeper in a hole, like, that drove my addiction. But the minute that I like found alcohol, I was like, oh my God, this is something, or just anything. Like even when I drink coffee, like some days I'll wake up and be like, I choose violence. And like, I'll drink the coffee just because it gives like, it like feeds that addict in me where I'm like, I just want like to feel different right now. Or
you want to change your state. Change your state. I also think, I'm not a therapist, but I do play one on television sometimes. Yeah. But I will say that I see myself a lot in you. I really resonate with who you are as a human. And I think that people like us are very sensitive souls.
Yeah.
Like we're just born. Our souls came into this body and it was already like super sensitive and kind of wired that way. And then when we're born from two people, we also adopt the genetics and the good things and the idiosyncratic, quirky, weird shit too. Right. And, me having a dad who has been an addict and stuff, I have a lot of addictive things as well. So everything that you're saying, I'm like 110% like it resonates. And I know so many women, because I know so many of my listeners also have struggled with all kinds of different addictions. You're really hitting home for so many people. So I think that when we do therapy, or we go like do deep, spiritual work and shadow work, and we think like we're just so fucked up, but a lot of it is nature. It's not all how we were raised. A lot of people are just really wired to be an anxious person. And I was the same way with alcohol. Like the first time I remember taking that first sip of alcohol, I was like 15 years old. And I just remembered like the world just fell away. Yeah. It was just like, it was like the biggest sigh my soul had ever taken. And then I just went on this like downward spiral of like always wanting to get fucked up. And I was the same as you. I couldn't just have a drink. I needed to drink until I was like booting my tits off, like in some random person's bathroom, like that was really my like baseline. And, there has been times where I've stepped away from it or whatever. Right now, like I gave up alcohol for Lent, which has not been hard at all.
Yeah.
And I know you're super spiritual as well. So we have these conversations and whatever, but I'm telling you right now that so many people are going to resonate with what you're saying about the alcohol and just the drugs. And especially like, Xanax is supposed to be used to like, calm people down.
That was
but
my
dude,
crutch.
you can abuse the fuck out of it. I mean, there's been shows on Netflix literally saying like it's one of the most addictive things of all of the drugs because how it works with your neurology and your brain. It's so insane. So when you were going through COVID, and you met this person you said in recovery, and they started being like, yeah, this isn't normal, by the way. This isn't just like party girl energy.
Yeah.
What was there a moment that you were like, fuck, like I really need to change this, because if I don't, I won't be able to like live the life that I have, like the life that I've dreamt up for myself. Was there that moment in the sand that was like, I got to do something?
To be honest, I feel like my first year is right. Like from the minute I met that person and I was introduced to people in recovery, and like, I just went with the flow of recovery. First of all, I hated it. I have no idea. Like, this is how I know like God is so much more powerful than me, because I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be doing recovery. I didn't want to meet people. I didn't want to talk about it. I just was like, guys, I'm not ready. I'm 24. Like, I'm not getting sober. And I just kept doing it. I don't know why, but honestly, no, when that person was like, you should meet some, I have women that you can meet. And I was like, what? To be completely honest, I had no like vision for myself. Like, I'm like, yeah, I want to have my own business and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I didn't actually believe that like at all, like genuinely. Like today, when we talk about my limiting beliefs, like there's part of me that's like, you don't actually believe that you can accomplish that. But I genuinely was like, I just wanted to die. Like, I wasn't like, I need to make this change to make my life better. I was like, I want to like kill myself next week. So whatever you have to say, it really doesn't matter, because drinking and using isn't working for me right now. And I have no idea how to exist without it. And so I was just like on autopilot mode, and which sounds dark and emo, but it was,
when you know me, I'm a dark and emo. So I love it.
I'm like, no 150 me. But when you ask that, I'm just like, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I hated my job. I hated my life. I stopped talking to like everyone because I was just so anxious, so isolated. I have no idea why I got sober and why I'm here today. Like, that is why whenever I'm like,
it was God. It was God. God was watching at you every step of the way.
God's not real. How do you explain that? Like, if you saw me and you saw the way that I showed up, like people joke about it now. They're like, haha, remember when you first got sober with your hood on and you cried? Like, we have no idea why you came back. Like, you obviously did not want to be there. And I'm like, I have no idea why I'm here and sober today. And my partner the other day, he's like, where would you be if you weren't sober? And I was like, dead.
Yeah.
Like, what would be the point?
What would be the alternative?
Yeah. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I drank too much. Like, it was just miserable. I had no tools for life. And I say now, even if I like, now I'm like, okay, say I'm not an addict, say I'm not an alcoholic, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't even care anymore, because I mean, I am, I have to admit that, or in recovery, you know what I mean? But In recovery, I'm given the tools to life. In recovery has taught me my relationship with God in a spiritual way, in a reliance to give my life over and not worry about or live for money and relationships. And like, when I'm wrong, admit it. Like all these things that I've been taught in recovery, it's if I just didn't drink, like if I was just like dry, I still probably wouldn't be here. But in recovery, that's the difference for me. You know, when people are like sober versus in recovery, I wouldn't make it if I was just sober, if I had to raw dog life without any tools. And like, that's kind of, I think you asked before, like bring us back to today. Like that's where I'm at today, where now I actually am like, I want to be a participating person in society. I want to wake up and be like, how do I serve God today? And like, I don't know exactly what that looks like because I'm like a selfish bitch over here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to serve God, but also how can I get the next Louis Vuitton bag, you know? But it's just like, I'm humbled every single day. And without my recovery program, I just like, I don't know. Because if I was just sober, no thanks.
Yeah. It says in the Bible, be in the world, but not of the world. So you can still want the 3-dimensional shit like the Louis Vuitton and the nice car and whatever. But if you wake up every day, and this is, you know, this is what we talk about all the time. This is what I talk about on the app. But if you wake up every day and you say, okay, how am I going to use the gifts that God gave me to serve the world? Yep. And when you serve and you show up within that really true service energy, there is no way that you cannot have the 3-dimensional wealth and abundance that we all desire as human beings. You know, I love this conversation. So that being said, when something just sparked me when you were saying this, you were saying like, I was saying I wanted to have a business, but I just was saying it. Do you think that you were saying it because it's like what we're all kind of brainwashed in society nowadays to be like, be an entrepreneur and like killing it and like being like, you know, jet setting and TikToking and all this freaking shit? Like, do you feel like that was more why you were showing up that way and it wasn't coming from a place of like realness and authenticity? You were just like, hey, I have to say this because everyone else is saying it, so I might as well just say it too.
I'm not exactly sure where that idea came from. I feel like it's common for people in the beauty industry to have their own businesses. So maybe that's where it came from. But it came from a place too where I was working. I was like, I can't wait to never have a bitch breathe down my neck. Like, I can't wait till I can just like do whatever I want, have like no pressure of like, make your sale for $500 or whatever. Like, I can't wait to create my own space. And the more jobs that I worked, so many jobs, the more jobs that I worked, the more it drove me to like, I want to create my own space and really like make it my own. Like, I felt like working other places. Like today, when I go to work, I tell people like my deepest, darkest secrets and they tell me mine. And I'm like, perfect. Like at my other job, this would be called unprofessional, but like, this is how I connect with people. Like, I'm not just like, I have perfect skin, I'm beautiful. I'm like, no, I have acne and I'm like an addict in recovery, you know? And like, I obsess about food and just like, it's like, I want to create the connection. But I remember there was one time at one of my old jobs, like this girl, she forgot her credit card or something. And I was like, oh my God, you missed me already. Like, you already are ready for your next facial. Like, I just made a joke because she came back and I had just been like, bye. And my boss comes around the corner and she was like, do not talk to the clients like that. Like, I don't even know what she said or why I got in trouble. And I was like, it's like being myself. And so I think that kind of, and I also think I needed something bigger to like be like, don't kill yourself, because there, you know, I say, I didn't like, I don't know. I'm saying like a lot because I'm tripping over my words right now.
No, I love it.
It's hard for me to
but you're being real.
Conceptualize, because I'm like, I had these like fake dreams to like make me so I didn't kill myself, because I'm like, it's all gonna be fine when I reach this or whatever. Like, keep going because this is all worth it. Like, all this shit job right now is like, I'm learning so much for my career and this is gonna be good later in life. But I was also like, I don't even care about later in life. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's like cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, like I was
like half of you is like,
myself, but I was like, I actually don't care. Like whatever. I'm just give myself a reason to get up today, but I could go either way.
Now, side note, is this woman that was like to you, that was your boss before, is she still in business, or you don't even know?
Yeah, I try and separate myself.
It's funny because I had a boss just like that years and years and years ago, and I remember I said to myself, it was like the best thing that happened to me to have a boss that was a see you next Tuesday, because I was like, oh my God, this is the best catalyst for me to step into my power and know for one fact that I'm a crazy bitch and I cannot work for anyone. Like someone asked me today, like, do you think everyone should be an entrepreneur? And I was like, hell to the no. There is like 98% of the human population that should have a job. They should work 9 to 5 and they should be able to get like their sick days, and they may have diarrhea. So then they like just call, they use like a friggin', personal day or whatever. For people like us, like we're such sick fucks.
Yeah.
I could never work for anyone. Like, could you imagine me working for someone and I know that my clients are really my bosses, but I have total freedom and autonomy in my life and sovereignty, which was always my core desired feelings. But working for a woman like you did was the best thing that ever happened to me, because I was like, okay, I know how I don't want to show up in my business. I know how I am going to treat my clientele. I know how I am going to treat girls or people who work for me down the road. And that's why I have become such a success, because I literally took everything that was wrong with her that she thought was so right and like did the total antithesis. And guess what? That woman or the lady that I used to work for, I'm sure that they have clients still to this day, but they're not the clients that are attracted to our vibrational frequency. And there's a seat for every ass, and that's okay. You know? So it was the best thing for you that she was such a douche.
Yeah. I mean, all my jobs serve a purpose. And that's what goes back to like, oh, my parents divorced, shitty boss. And I mean, that was also when I was in the peak of fuck around and find out. So it's not all like put the blame on shitty bosses, but, I always say that, where it's like the parts where I'm in life where I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot go another day. This is so dreadful. I look back in like a year or two and I'm like, that was so pivotal for me. And I kind of hate how that's how life works. Like the most painful, hard parts of your life is what builds you up. Like sometimes I'm having a hard time. I'm like, okay, God, take a break. I don't need to be Bob the Builder today. I don't need to.
You're like, there's 9 billion other people to fuck with on this earth. Like, I can take a time out. Thank you.
You don't need to keep building me up right now. Let's coast for a couple months.
Yes. Oh my God. So from that business opportunity that you had with that old boss, when was the day that you were like, I'm going to open my own skincare wellness practice, and this is going to be my new reality, and I'm going to help all these women clear their acne, get healthier, have the best skin possible? When was that like defining moment for you?
I think I dragged that moment out when I'm thinking about it. So at that job, I've had acne for years and years and years, and it's ebbs and flows. When it's clear, it's not clear, but it just kept coming back. And I'm like, how does this make sense? And at the time, I was the only one at the first job that we were talking about, was the only one with acne. We were like all trying to clear my skin. No one could figure it out. And I couldn't figure it. And I'm like, is there something that we're missing? Like I was trained there in very like luxury, relaxation, like spa-esque or like hotel-esque. And so we didn't really focus much on acne. And so, but that's what I was taught, was like, this is the best. This is all you need to know. This is your career. And so I didn't really think to veer off. And then after a while of having acne and just me not vibing there anymore, I left there and really started investing in my own education for acne in a skincare sense. And that's what's kind of opened the door for me. And I started learning more topically how to treat acne. And then I worked 2 other jobs. And in that time, I took my integrative health practitioner certification. And so I was really learning about toxins in the world, how stress affects the body, like hormones, because there's more than just our sex hormones. Go figure. Gut health, our food quality. Like I had no idea that food quality was a thing. Like when I think of like where I get my meat from, I'm picturing like little cartoon cows grazing, the grass, living their best life. I didn't know that these animals are like tortured and given like a bunch of crap, and then we eat the crap. It just completely, I was like, I live under a rock. But also
most people do, by the way. That's why they need you.
Well, so just sidebar, that's why, we work together to create the app, because I was like, why don't people know this information? Why don't women know this information? Like you shouldn't have to take my course was like $5,000. Like you shouldn't have to take this course to know that how to buy high quality meat. Anyway, we'll circle back to that.
Yes.
But that's where like the wheels started turning. But then I was just doing like facials. Like there was one woman, I was working for Monica when we started working together.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So she was so sweet. She kind of took the more internal approach. We mainly focused on acne, but the other job that I was working at the time, sorry, listeners, confusing. I worked 30 million jobs.
Fine.
But that other job I was doing, again, more just like facials, like hydrofacials, whatever facials, bye, see you later. Not really creating a relationship. And I, again, was working 2 jobs and trying to just, during that time, I actually was building my business on the side. And again, not because I thought it was going to go anywhere, but because I wanted something to look forward to and to like, be like, okay, these jobs are just, I mean, Monica's was different because it was more like aligned with acne and
absolutely.
internal. But the other jobs that I worked, just kind of doing facials, again, great. I love the practice, whatever. But I just still needed like something to be like, it's not 100% me, which that's what it's like working for other people. I'm not saying it's a negative thing. I just kind of was like, I just want like something. So I was creating my stuff on the side, and also like the money that I was putting into my education, it didn't make sense anymore. I couldn't keep investing my time and my money and work for a little above minimum wage. And again, it's not their fault or anyone's fault because I did choose to make these investments, but I was like, I'm offering to whoever will listen, I'm offering like all this education that I have on the side now, which is benefiting someone else's business, which is fine. But there was a point where I was like, I'm just ready, you know?
Now, is that when you joined the app? Because you joined the Ambitchious app first, right? That's how, because you started following me on Instagram, right? This is the story, right? Follow the bouncing ball. You started following me on Instagram because of Candace Marino, the LA facialist.
No, I found your podcast, and
cut it out.
I don't remember how I found it. And this is
a full circle moment.
Yeah. And it was because of your podcast. And then when we were like connecting Candace later, we were like, oh, you're an esthetician. But I found your podcast. This is when I was going to the gym a lot. Literally, I would like wake up and like listen to your podcast. Like I went through like all the episodes, and I was like, she's so cool, but in a way where I love, but I hate when people co-sign my bullshit. And you just made me, there's an episode where you're like, if what I'm saying makes you feel uncomfortable, you need to look in the fucking mirror. And I'm like, how does she know? Like, I'm uncomfortable.
That's not like me.
Yeah. And I was like, I am uncomfortable because you're telling me like I'm a pussy because I am not going for my dreams, or I'm thinking too small. Like, you're right, you know? And then I followed you on Instagram, and I think you reached out to me about the app. I joined the app. Yeah. And then I left one of the jobs, and I was just working for Monica. God bless her. She was so supportive of me.
No, Monica's awesome. And I love her too. We always talk back and forth on Insta. Shout out, Monica.
Yeah. But she was so supportive of me, like doing my own thing, which no one has ever been, like bosses that I worked for, because why would they? Like right. But I tried to be very open and respectful with her, where I was like, I respect you and I feel like you respect me. Like, how can we make this work? Because I need to be able to pay my bills, but I can't work at the other place anymore. And I just, I need to figure out my life. And so she was very supportive, but that was kind of my transitional period of like, I just kind of kept hitting a wall, and like clients were like, at one of my other jobs, we're like, yeah, the facial is fine, and Charles was like, stop giving people shitty facials because you're like mad that you're there, like do something else. Like, don't be giving people your like bitch energy, like your self-pity because you don't want to like rub people's arms, but I just felt like, who am I serving right now? Like, I feel like I have more to offer, and not in like a douchey way, but I was just like, I just feel like I'm like a machine doing facials, and not at Monica's, but like, I just felt like I had more connection and more value to offer. And I was like getting frustrated that like, I was like, guys, no, the meat quality, you must know. And they're like, I just want to like relax and take a nap,
Mm-hmm. And when you started working on the app, what were some of the things that you were learning on the app that you were like, oh shit, this is really going to help me go to the next level? Were there any like things that stuck out to you? Like, if you can remember, because we've been working together for a really long time. So
I think that what drew me to you as well is, it's so hard to remember like time frames. My brain like blocks out everything. So I feel like I was probably like just coming over my year of sobriety or going into year 2, somewhere around there. So the fact that you were talking about spirituality and God really is helpful. And I tell people that like when we work together on our one-on-ones, or even I call her my therapist, but she's like a trauma coach.
Yes.
We talk so much about God, and she's never like, you're depressed and you're blah, blah, blah. And it's because your mom and, like she doesn't do any of that bullshit. She's just like, I don't even know, but she talks about faith and God, and you do too. And it's less of like, you need to be fixed, and more of leaning into faith kind of thing. If that makes sense. Like, you're fine. God has a purpose for you. Like, how are you going to use it? And that just really stuck out to me. And you have videos on like that in your app, and meditations, which aligned with me. Cause my same thing with having acne, and it's being really drawn by stress. So being able to do your meditations, and even you tell me, you're like, watch or listen to this meditation about unlocking your inner child. And I've also learned a lot about food and nutrition from your app that just kind of makes it easy to digest. That kind of sparks my interest. Like, oh, okay, let me check out that. So it just kind of clicked. Those are just a couple things that I can think off the top of my head, because your app has so much. Oh, I bought your book too. Oh my God, dude, I was like sucking your dick like when I first found you.
And I liked it.
Yeah. And there's part of the book where it's like, purge your closet, like purge your life, go through your emails and unsubscribe to stuff, like just little shit like that, where I was just like, I just need someone to kick me in the butt. Like, I'm just a kid, and I will like sit on my ass all day unless I hear someone be like, come on, like you want that life, go chase it. And it's like this battle between that life is out there for me and I need to chase it, or just give up before I even start. Because it's not going to happen.
Absolutely. And anything I create, whether it's my app or writing the book or these podcasts or our mentorship programs, I always say to myself, be the person for these women that you needed when you were younger.
Yep.
Because there were no Katie Boyds back in the day. There were, but like, it wasn't a thing. Like, no one was really, everyone just followed Oprah like she was God, and it's like one fucking person in the whole entire world. And now, like, I'm not even going to get an Oprah thing, but no one really follows her anymore. Okay. Yeah. So, I always wanted to be that person. And I also realized too, and, we have this conversation all the time when we're working together. It's like, it's a holistic approach. It's same thing with skincare. It's like, it's about your divine connection with source. It's about your lifestyle and your boundaries and your relationships and what you're putting into your body, what you're putting on your body, the things that you're consuming. And it's not just food. It's like, what are you taking in on social media? What are you listening to? You watching the fucking news all day? I would have cystic acne too if I watched, the news all goddamn day and I surrounded myself with a bunch of asshole lowlife, people who, are just gossiping and are wicked super low vibe, and they're in their victim mentality. And then like, what you have in your environment and also your financial freedom, all these things have to do with you living your most ambitious life, but also to your point with the skincare situation, like the 6 life makers in Ambitchious also align with how your skin is reacting, right? Because you see all these people, and I know you don't just deal with acne, you deal with all kinds of different skin issues, but I have a lot of clients who have, autoimmune diseases, and they have skin autoimmune diseases. And I'll like look at their lives and I was like, bro, your husband is horrible. Your kids are mental. You hate your job. You came from a broken home. You've gone through, sexual trauma. You've never healed these parts of you. You've never gone to therapy. You eat fucking Chick-fil-A 3 times a day.
But you're mad at me that your face cream isn't clearing your acne.
Yes. And this is what we talk about so much, because I'm going to let you in a little secret. Elle has one of the most beautiful lights I've ever experienced from anyone that I've ever met in all the 25 years I've been doing this. And you are so like me, where you invest your heart and soul into helping people. And sometimes that's detrimental for ourselves, because it will literally eat away at us as humans if we can't help the person. But we have to realize that we're not Mary fucking Poppins, and we can't babysit these people all the time and be like, did you use your topical cream? Did you eat, organic grass-fed meat today? Or did you go to McDonald's and eat a quarter pounder with cheese? Like, we can't do that. So all we can do as coaches and as healers, because you are also a healer, even though you may not call yourself that, all we can do is do the best that we can do. And then everyone else has their marching orders, and then they have to do the shit that we can't make sure that they're doing when they're behind closed doors at their houses, Yep.
You're
like, yep. You're like, I can see the wheels in your mind turning right now.
Yeah, no, and you're right. That's something that I like heavily need to be mindful of and work on. Like I absorb people's energy. I don't know what type of trauma response is that, but I'm like, you're unhappy, give it to me. It's my fault. I'm the
You're an
problem.
empath. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're an empath.
like
Big time.
toxically. And it's just like sometimes I forget my intention behind it because when people aren't happy with me, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm a bad person and blah, blah. It's like, no, I'm just trying my best. And that's kind of the script that I've changed. You said something that sparked this thought, but with the app that I create, like the app that you have and the app that I created, similar but different. It's my whole goal is like my new catchphrase is I help women start their healing journey or their wellness journey because, oh, that's what you said. You said, I want to be the person that I didn't have. So me, like I was trying to be healthy by getting, Trader Joe's salads, and I was going to the gym every day at 6 a.m., lifting really heavy and then like not eating. Like I looked great. My ass was fat. I had abs, but it's because I was hungry, and I was 22 is the only reason why that.
I remember those days.
Yeah. But it's like less about, okay. And that's also what you said too. You're like, it's about your connection with your divine energy and your boundaries. Like I'm almost less like, okay, let's clear acne, and more like, how can we make your life better? Like,
yes.
Yeah, you're probably sad because you have acne, but why are we dismissing that? Exactly. Like your boyfriend is an idiot. You work 20-hour days. You never see sunlight. You don't respect yourself and your body enough to meal prep. Like
you don't sleep.
Yeah. Like, wait, why are we just dismissing that? Like why it just feels wrong for me to be like, here's something that hopefully will exfoliate your acne away. Because to me, I'm like, we can do so much more than that. Like, why are we stopping at just trying to get you glowy, dewy skin? Like, yes, I'm an esthetician, but from my own experience, like hearing people talking and I'm like, wait, why are you living like that? And not from a judgmental place, but from a place of like, I lived in so much pain in my own shit for so long. And I look back and I'm like, for what? All you needed was just tools and guidance and like a little bit of love. And so when I see people come through the door and they're like emotionally distressed and they think it's their acne, but it's not, I'm like, how can I politely be like, boo, do you need a hug? And you need to kind of, why are we not living in a life where we respect ourselves and love ourselves? And I think that's very evident to me now going through the journey. And that's what makes me have this shift in my business where I'm like, fuck the acne, like break up with your boyfriend, or I mean, that's an easy example to like, obviously easier said than done, but
of course
it's like, I almost have like no tolerance for it because I not out of a place of love, because the years of turmoil I put myself through, it's like, why are we doing that? Like, we are not born to be miserable. Like, God doesn't want us to be miserable. And that's like kind of what I'm leaning into now, where it's like, how can we get you feeling yourself and vibing?
Absolutely. So let's double down on that, because I want to get into this for my own selfish reasons, because I love for you to educate me, but also for all of the listeners all over the globe that, they think that they just need to buy more expensive face cream and it's going to make their problems go away. And let's talk about, since you and I have been doing our business mentorship container in Ambitchious, and how I pretty much came to you and I was like, girlfriend, you are so talented. God has given you so many gifts. It's time to share these talents and gifts and all of this knowledge and wisdom with the world. And because you're in Southern California and not everyone can get to you, I said, girl, your voice needs to be heard globally. And so we created together this incredible app that you have, which is absolutely stellar. And you worked so hard on it and so diligently. And I'm so proud of everything that you have accomplished and will accomplish going forward, because you're going to do even bigger and greater things going forward. But that being said, I want to talk a little bit about what you have on your app, number one. And number two, let's get into some like skincare stuff, but non-skincare, because you could literally sit here and be like, this is the lotion and this is the potion. But I want you to really talk about, like, what do you really educate women on your app? So let's talk about that first. So like, what does the app entail? You're like, shit, what does it not entail?
Yeah, like, let me pull it up. How long do you have?
We have all day, girl.
Well, so we came up with the app, or we kind of bounced the idea, because you love a good app. And I was just kind of like, I don't know what you're talking about, lady. but
I believe that everyone in the service industry should have an educational component that's virtual. I don't care if you are like a friggin' painter, or you are a wallpaper, or you are a skincare provider, or you are a business coach. It doesn't matter. Like, if you really want to do God's work, this is my opinion, you have to get your work into the hands of the most people across the globe that you can. And the best way to do it in this day and age is to have a virtual offering where you can do something once, create something incredible, and give it to as many people as possible.
Yeah, 100%. Well, so to kind of go back to that, how we started implementing it in my business is I had my virtual program where I would have one call, send them products, and then kind of check in. And it just, I know a lot of estheticians that do that. I had a very low success rate with that, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Most estheticians do have a low success rate with that too, because it's too much of like, it's almost like babysitting. And again, grown ass women need to like, okay, here's the silver platter of everything you need. Go fucking do it. No one's going to hold your hand, because if you need someone to hold your hand, dude, like you're in total victim mentality and you're probably never going to hit your goals anyway. So be one of the 98% plebes, mediocre motherfuckers. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah. But I just I'm just not the type of esthetician that doesn't think that acne, like if you have cystic, juicy, your face is bleeding, I don't think you just need to exfoliate a little bit more. That's just my own opinion.
Agreed. And I'm not an esthetician, but I do know some shit. And I had acne, really bad cystic acne in my 20s as well. It's funny how when you have a lot of acne when you're younger, as you get older, your skin is more beautiful because it's mostly oily, right? My mom had acne too. And she's like, I know that you're having a hard time now, but when you're older and everyone else is crumbling, you're going to still look young because you have this juicy, gross, oily fucking skin, which thank God she was right. But when you're going through it, especially like your face is your calling card. It's everything. It's what people see. And especially when you're in the beauty industry, or especially when you're in the skincare industry and you're like, hi guys, look at my cystic acne and my hyperpigmentation. Like it's hard.
Yeah. I cry many of times because it's like, oh, hi, I'm here to help you with your acne. It's like, you have acne all over your face. What are you fucking talking about? But yeah, so we just kept, I came to you and I was like, dude, this is not working out. Like I charged a one-off fee and they're texting me like every day, which is fine. They have questions, but like,
no boundaries.
Yeah. One, no boundaries. And two, like I'm sitting around all day texting these guests and like, from my $50, like I have bills to pay, like this is taking away from my time of and it's also just like the same information over and over again. Like I said, like it's just basic information where I'm like, girl, like you're obviously inflamed here, but it's not obvious. It's obvious to me because I study it all the time. And it's not obvious to other people. And I was like, told Katie, I was like, dude, I want people to know like all of this information. She's like, okay, make an app. And so we made the app, and now my virtual program is you're in the app, and I make you watch all these. I don't make you.
You just offer. It's an offering.
But I make you watch all these videos, and I have it pulled up right now. There's a category on acne, which just literally just educates you on acne in the skin, because the goal of my app and working with me, I want you to know the same information as me. Like I'm not trying to big dick you because I'm an esthetician.
Not trying to gatekeep all that.
You need to leave here knowing the same shit as me. So that way, like, you shouldn't be, my belief, and again, something that I worked on with my trauma therapist, is you shouldn't be so heavily reliant on someone else. You should be able to trust your own body's ability to heal without being like, hey, what about this snack? It's like, that anxiety and that inability to think for yourself and listen to your body is a problem. And that's been pointed out to me. So that's kind of my new mindset, where it's like, girl, when you walk away from me, like you don't need to ask me any questions, not because I don't want to answer your questions, but it's because you need to know this knowledge. You need to be able to walk in life, being able to read labels, being able to like know X, Y, and Z, be able to know if you're having a panic attack at work, how to manage it. Like it's just the way of life. And so I have a category on acne, nutrition, nervous system, detoxing, because everyone and their mother is like, oh my God, do a parasite cleanse. And it's like, well, if you have a parasite, calm down, Becky. And then gut health, hormones, and then like low tox life, like, switching to non-toxic options.
No Glade plugins in the wall.
Nope. Take it out of your ass.
No candles burning in every fucking room. Dude, I can't even go over fucking people's houses if they have that shit in their house.
it makes me like sneeze and have a
No, I
headache,
get sick.
which
I get like
sounds
nauseous, and then I
dramatic.
feel like out of my fucking tree. I'm like, where am I? I have like an out of fucking body experience. I slept over a friend's house once.
Yeah.
And I just remember getting up in the middle of the night and taking all the Glade plugins out of the wall and like putting them in a closet because I was having fucking fever dreams. I was like out of my tits sleeping because I think that it does. I mean, I know it does some shit to your neurology.
Yeah.
You know, it's endocrine disruptor, all that kind of stuff. But these are little things that people don't even think about, dude. And think about it. If everything you just said, right, between the gut microbiome and what you're putting into your body, like food and drinks, and what you're putting on your body and what's in your environment and the thoughts that you're thinking and all the different stressors in life, and there's so much more in your app, but like that is the perfect recipe for either incredible skin or like fucking every problem under the sun all at once. And these people just don't even follow that bouncing ball. You know, they're like, it's gotta be, I need more lotion. I need more retin-A. I need a fucking CO2 laser to fucking burn my face off. I mean, I see some crazy shit in the skincare world, dude.
A piece of broccoli, which I mean, I don't even really eat broccoli, but I was trying to make a joke. But that's the thing is I call them my non-negotiables. And so my app is kind of like the details of the non-negotiables. So it's getting 8 hours of sleep, pooping daily, 3 meals a day, like actual real high quality meals, daily movement, which could mean walking around the block. Like I'm not saying you need to like
power lift.
Yeah. Or go for 10-mile runs. Like, no, just go around the block. Drinking water, like high quality water, not contaminated, adding minerals and electrolytes, properly hydrating your water, which again, I didn't know that. That's why we got a category in the app. And then managing stress. Because another thing, like that's kind of where you could hear the overlap in the categories. That's another thing too. People are like, I'm eating healthy. Like, why do I still have gut issues? Okay, go into the gut tab and learn that if your stomach lining is not intact, if you have leaky gut, if you have bacteria, if you have fungus, you have low stomach acid, if there's so many reasons why your body is not absorbing nutrients, which is why you still have acne, which is why you're still fatigued, which is why you still have PMS, because it's not just about your green powder or whatever the fuck your influencer is selling.
Fucking green powder. Shoot me, dude.
Of the human body that like, I just think it's like it's a right and a privilege to know how the human body works. Like, of course you're frustrated that you're eating healthy and it's not working, but like, girl, if your stomach acid is not working properly, or your digestive enzymes, like, or your liver is sluggish, like there's so many reasons. And that's why you need to take control of chipping away at why your body's not working optimally. Because if you have all these symptoms, like something's wrong. I don't know what to tell you. Like, stop pretending like you have acne and you're not bloated and your periods suck and you're fatigued. Like, a face cream's not going to fix that. Your body is trying to communicate with you and you're not listening. And
but we've totally lost that, though. To your point, we as women have had this beaten out of us because we have lived in this like lunar, matriarchal, super feminine energy society for thousands of years. And around like the 15th, 16th century, we started going into that like very masculine, very, like gotta push the square peg in the round hole. And we have lost that intuitive energy, especially as women, that we know like, hey, I shouldn't eat that because something's telling me it's not good for me. Yeah. Or like, hey, this person is like, every time I'm around them, I feel some sort of way, but you keep giving people the benefit of the doubt because your mom told you, don't judge a book by its cover and, give everyone the benefit of the doubt. And it's like, no, your fucking nervous system, your connection to source energy is telling you every moment of every day what to do and what not to do. But because we doubt ourselves as, children of God, this is the biggest issue in every problem in the world, from skin to, being a broke ass hoe, to not choosing the right partner, to, working a job that makes you want to, jump off a bridge. It's all because we're not listening to that still small voice, which is God.
Yeah. So
I love this. I love this so much. So when you work with the people on your app, you have videos, you have information. Do you still do one-on-one coaching at all? Is that an offering that you do offer?
Yeah. So kind of to answer your question before, I know you were like, how does it work with you? And then I went on like a tangent.
No, I love tangents.
So that about like women need to know their bodies. But so I have we created 3 tiers in the app. So tier 1 is you just have access to the app. We're not working one-on-one, where you can just watch the videos. And like you said, it has guides. I literally have a 90-day protocol. And it's not like in 90 days you'll have clear skin and you'll lose 20 pounds. It's how to build and implement these habits. So it's like for the first month, you're just focusing on reading food labels and picking the right food and meal prepping. Like it's a low pressure guide. You'll get out what you put into it, you know? So then the second month, whatever, it's just a 3-month protocol that you can walk yourself through the videos and kind of self educate.
Right.
The second tier is going back to my flop of a virtual program. The second tier is where we start working with skincare as well. So we're checking in every 2 weeks with how the skincare is working. We're either adding product, taking away product. You're sending me photos of your skin. And we're also checking in on like, hey, did you watch the video of the gut? Did you take the stomach acid test? What were your results? Like, checking in via DM through the app. And then, so that's tier 2. And then tier 3 is we're actually doing monthly calls to hold your hand even more. So it really just depends on what I would recommend for you, whether I'm like, you kind of have an idea of you're eating healthy, you're doing all the things, but you really need to focus on your stress. And also I think you're just using the wrong skincare products. You're great on tier 2. Let's check in via DM. Versus if you were me 4 years ago that didn't know my left from my right, I would be like, hey, let's do monthly calls so I can really break it down for you to understand. So it's not so overwhelming. Like, let's just do it bite-sized pieces. And of course, we'll still talk about the skincare. You can still DM me. And so there's 3 tiers, the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And then it's a 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month commitment. And I usually start people around 6 months because that's kind of the sweet spot of starting to see results. And then, you know, we can kind of reassess from there. But the commitment is important, and investing in actually watching the videos, investing in the products, asking questions and learning and being open and willing to the experience, and knowing that I always tell people, like, I'm the step before you spend $10,000 with your naturopath. Because if you do a gut testing and you eat McDonald's every day and you have candida, first of all, they're going to sell you $500 worth of supplements, maybe.
Then they're more,
yeah.
bitch, more.
And also it's like, why would you, it's like going to the gym and eating McDonald's every day. It's like, why would you take a protocol for your candida or whatever my example was, but you're still eating McDonald's because you don't know how to eat healthy. So I help women start their healing and their wellness journey. And that means skincare and internally. So that way, when eating healthy, managing your stress, drinking water, pooping daily, movements, which mind you does take months. It sounds very simple, but I know none of you bitches are doing it.
No, people think like, oh, I did this for a week and I'm just going to start shitting out fucking, dollar bills, and I'm going to start living my best life, and my leaky gut's going to go away. And no, this is like, it took you how many fucking years to get yourself to this bad place? How long do you think it's going to take to get out of it?
Exactly. That's why I tell people, like, I've had acne for 18 years and it's been a month. And I'm like, did you just hear the sentence that you said?
No, they didn't.
But I tell people, like, I have, because of my own experience, like, let's lock these in. This will take a couple months. And depending on what tier or what investment, like, I'm not going to try and like jip you. I'm going to tell you what I think you would need. Like, if you came in here, perfect everything, like, let's just clean it up and do the skincare. But I tell people, like, at the end of 3, 6, or 12 months, like, if you still have acne, you still have these symptoms, my goal for you isn't to, obviously my goal is for you to have clearer skin and have these symptoms alleviate. But on the off chance that they're not, what you got from me, bomb skincare routine, your skin is healthy. It may have acne, but it's not crusting over anymore. It actually looks healthy. Mm-hmm. And you actually have built daily habits, and you know your body, and you've built trust with yourself, and you are less fucking stressed out. You've considered leaving your toxic boyfriend, all these things that are benefiting you. If you still have a gut issue, I can't look at you and see if you have candida, but what I do have for you is resources that you can go the next step. So I have all these steps laid out. All of my virtuals that have gone through my program now have clear and healthy skin, and they feel so much better, and they fear food less, and they're so much more comfortable with having acne. Like, they don't spiral when they have a pimple. And so I see the difference of going through the app and not before. So that could be you. And I have some that it's happened with 3 months, 6 months. It just depends on your journey. And then I also have people that I've been working with for months where I'm like, okay, you're ready for the next step. It doesn't mean that we're failing here. Like,
Right.
let's still keep changing your skincare, or I'll keep supporting you into making sure like you feel supported to keep these daily habits up. But like, bitch, sometimes you need a GI map. Sometimes you do need blood work. Like, knowledge is power. And so that's why I say I'm the step before you go and eat all that cash, because you have the healthy habits in place. Like, be ready to take that supplement. Like, physically and mentally, if you go to see and invest all that money, do yourself a favor and get yourself ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Mentally and financially, because people don't realize, like, they've put their body through so much hell for so long. It's going to take time to kind of back the horse out of the barn. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, because we haven't touched upon this yet, about your hair scans, because you sent me one. I'm a fucking dumb bitch and I still haven't done it, but I think we should do it. And then we should do like a live on Instagram or something. Yeah. Or maybe you come back on the podcast and you do like a whole hair scan analysis. It's like, oh, Katie, I did your hair scan. You smoke crack every day.
Yeah. Lay off the meth, Katie.
Yeah, lay off the meth. What do you do this hair scan? Tell the girls a little bit about the hair scan. I think it's really freaking interesting and it's really cool, because you're the only, and I've gone to every doctor under the sun for years and years because of my, what I do for a living. Yeah. And I've never had one naturopathic, any kind of doctor whatsoever, ever say, hey, let's do a hair scan. I mean, I've spit in bottles for cortisol. I've pissed in things. I've taken I've had blood work up the yin yang. I can't believe I still have blood in my body from all the blood that's been taken out of my body, but I've never done a hair scan. So tell us a little bit about the hair scan, Stitch, and what it actually does and what it finds.
Yeah. So that actually is another thing that I circle back to. It kind of, like I said before, it depends. Sometimes it's great to start with it so we can just like nip it in the butt.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's like, okay, you're too overwhelmed right now with just the idea of being healthy. So let's wait 3 months until, again, we've kind of dipped our toes into the water. So what the hair scan is, again, I think it's a step. You can do it with lab work, but I think I found the most success having it be the first test that you do and then see how your results go from there. And if you need something added on. So what the hair scan is, the one that I have in particular, because there's there's probably different ones, but there's like an HTMA test, which I had just recently done. And that is really giving you your mineral levels and your exposure to heavy metals, I believe, but the actual ratios of it. So it's a little bit more, they're different. So that has a little bit more specific information on that. And the hair scan that I do is you can do it mail in, which is what I sent you. And you just pluck 3 or 4 hairs. You want to get the bulb, where that's like the
so get like a tweezer and actually pull your hair from the head.
I think it comes with tweezers when I send it. I do them virtually. And then I also do it in person. And it takes about 20 minutes for the test to come back. So usually I just like pull the hair, scan it, and do a facial, and then we discuss it after. But what it reads is it reads your epigenetics. So your epigenetics basically sit on your DNA, and they are influenced by your lifestyle, what you're eating, toxins that you're exposed to, your nutrients. And this test, it's not so much like you don't have B12, you need to eat B12. It's not that cut and dry. And I've also noticed that when estheticians, it's kind of like a shiny toy that estheticians want to bring in, where they're like, it will help me look into the body. But it's like, you need to know what these nutrients do and why, if one's depleted, why it's depleted based off of the scan. So it's simple, but it's intricate. So it's going to read to you your optimal levels. So just kind of to reiterate, it's not so much you're deficient and you just need to quick fix it. It's just to be optimal, this is where you want to look at. So for example, it reads vitamins, minerals, fatty acids. It will flag if your liver needs some love because of chemicals, toxins. It will flag if you have signs of mold, bacteria, fungus. So that's why I say, or antioxidants, because there's so much in it. I don't have it off the top of my head. I'm trying to, but that's why I say it's a good starting point. So for example, it could flag bacteria. It's not going to say like all the strands of bacteria like a GI map would, but we can start implementing, antibacterial teas, or just through foods like garlic and stuff like that. Because
you could have a bacterial infection systematically and not even know it.
Yeah. And so
people don't realize that. Like a lot of people who have root canals that have like untreated teeth and stuff like that will have like these systemic bacterial infections. Yep. And they'll be like, my teeth feel fine. I don't have any like swelling or blah, blah, blah. It's like, or pain. It's like, yeah, bitch, because you don't have any roots in there because you had a fucking root canal.
Yeah.
So of course you're not going to feel pain, but it's going to affect you in other ways through your gut dysbiosis, or you're going to have like juicy, acne or whatever, And so that's super interesting. When you did your own hair scan, right?
Yeah.
What came back for you? I'm so fucking nosy.
Okay. So that's where like I've done a couple of them.
Okay.
And that's where
So can you see yourself improving as you do it?
Yes, I kind of see it improving, but also in like different stages. So that's why I did a hair scan the last time a couple months ago. And I just was like, it gives you a lot of information if you're just starting out, or it gives you, kind of different information where, you might have a gut dysbiosis, but it's because you have mold or you're lacking nutrients. So it can play in together, but that's why I like to start people on it, because it just kind of gets your foot in the door.
Yes.
For example, it's great for women that, sorry, I'll answer your question in a minute, but
no,
great
go ahead.
for like post birth control. It can see like, oh, you're lacking minerals, which is huge. You're lacking all these nutrients. So we can really hone in on foods, because I'm not huge on supplementation, and I'll tell you why in a second. But we kind of create like a post-birth control food plan for you to really re-up on the nutrients that birth control took from you. And it will probably flag that your liver needs some love, because your liver is trying to detox, or your body, all your detox pathways, your gallbladder, your lymphatic, are trying to detox that bullshit that you put in your body. So that's kind of like an example of starting with it. But for me, it was flagging hormonal and emotions, because it actually can stress, or can flag like emotions, stress, adrenal, all these things. And it was giving me information that I kind of already knew. And so I was kind of like, okay, what's the step further?
Yeah. It's nice to have the validation though, because it's like, I know, but it's so nice to have like the real paper to read. Like, okay, this backs up how I've already been feeling great. Now what do I do next?
What mine kind of showed is what my labs show is that my body's not utilizing it. Like I kind of saw my hair scan and was like, what the fuck? I eat so healthy, like how? And it kind of did say like some things like emotion, like your body is also like utilizing more minerals and certain things when you are stressed, because it burns it up faster. But when I did further lab testing, it did confirm kind of the hair scan, like, yeah, your body is not fully, because of your gut or, whatever it was. And it just kind of confirmed it. But that's in that example, which is why the next step is helpful. But the hair scan is a great starting tool. And a lot of guests can see how their daily habits do need to be changed based off of like, okay, it flagged your sugar, your protein, and your emotions. Protein and sugar, like, your body is probably having some blood sugar spikes because you're not eating enough protein, or you're like having sugar cravings. So that's where we can kind of clean it up based off of the scan, and they can actually see the real life data of what's going on.
I love this.
In the body. And it takes information from the past 3 months, summarizes it, spits it out, and gives you a plan based off of food to up those nutrients so your body is optimal. So
that's why you're not into the supplementation, because you're like, you can do this through food if you just get the right combination of different foods, different proteins, different fat sources, fruit, vegetables, yada, yada, yada.
Well, that was one more thing I was going to say is I actually did a hair scan, and I started taking a supplement that also the trauma coach, she was like, this supplement is good for people with ADHD. So I started taking it, and I don't know if it was a coincidence.
What is it? Tell me, because I think I have ADHD too.
Inositol.
I've never heard of this.
Okay, it's supposed to be like, look it up. It's supposed to be great for hormones, blood sugar, like
wow.
ADHD, like it's supposed to be great. Started taking it, and my chin, I mean, granted, I was stressed at the time, so I don't know it's fully correlated, but I wasn't just blindly supplementing. My chin blew up in cystic acne, and then I stopped taking it, and it kind of started, and then managing stress at the same time. And you do want to do supplementation for like 90 days or whatever.
Of course.
Yeah, I just, sometimes stuff just doesn't work, even if you're allowed to say they do. Like everything is just so trial and error. And so I kind of like stepped back from it and tried to redirect to food again and get back to the basics. But supplementation allegedly is out of scope for me anyway, but there is sometimes where I'm like, hey, I think these supplements would help you, but like just basic ones, to like help you or whatever.
Right.
But I'm like, check with your doctor, like I'm not liable.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I know people always, because I always show like on Instagram, like Matt, my husband, calls, I have a hypochondriac drawer with like all of my fucking supplements and all that shit.
Hello.
And people are like, what's this? What's that? And I was like,
Yeah.
I tell them, but I'm like, but this may not work for you. Like all the supplements I use are because I have a naturopathic doctor. I've gone to, all these different things. And just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So I just I talk about it a lot on my own app, but I don't like push it on anyone.
Yeah.
Plus there's just so many supplements are fucking scams too. Like these supplements that are like proprietary blend. And it's like, fuck, Kourtney Kardashian's been selling some shit that's like Ozempic, but in a pill. And it's like, there's nothing that is ever going to be in a pill that does that to you. So fuck off right now. And it's a proprietary blend. So it means literally nothing. She could have just put like a dash of this and a dash of that and just sell it. And it's, whatever. It's just the supplement world is a very shady, fucked up, scary world. So I always say to people, go to an actual physician or someone that like this is all that they do, and they run blood work and hair scans and all these different things to say like, hey, if I could give you a supplement, this is what you'd use. But also I'm kind of from the same school as you. It's like, you don't need a lot of supplements if you just eat the right things for your lifestyle, your energy output, what you desire to achieve, and also like blood type and how you're built. And there's just so many different things at play. I want to touch on something because I think this is very interesting, because as you know, I've been working with a hormone doctor and endocrinologist for the last couple of years. And, he's come on the podcast, Dr. Applebaum. And we talk a lot about female hormones too, like on our app. And we talk a lot about it as well, just you and I. But this birth control thing, because I was raised, my mom was in the medical industry. And when I was like 12 years old and I got my period and I had really bad periods, the first thing that your little gynecologist, when you're like little 12-year-old girl and you're like, my boobies and I have cramps and fuck, I don't know how to put a tampon in. They're like, you should really go on birth control. Right? Because, it's going to help with your acne and it's going to help with all your side effects. And so most women in this country, especially, have been raised in the westernized society where it's like birth control is like this Band-Aid that helps you fix your period, and we can get into this in a second, where someone like you and I will say, if you're having bad periods, it's a byproduct of stress and food and all these other things. So that's number one. So most women, from the time that they have their period until the time that they're about to give birth, are on birth control, right? Okay, so then I was on birth control for like most of my adult life. And then when I was like, okay, I think it's time to have a baby, my gynecologist was like, hey, you're just going to come off that birth control and you'll be pregnant within 3 months. Fat chance, right? I also read this other thing. I'm giving you way too much information, but I know we're nerds and we like this. I also read that when you're on birth control and you meet your mate, like, so say you're, heterosexual woman and you want to fuck a dude and you're looking for that man that you're going to marry and, put a ring on it and fucking have babies with. When you're on birth control, you actually don't choose the right partner. Because you're choosing your partner from the pheromones that he has and the pheromones that your birth control is giving off. So he's actually choosing you wrong as well. Then what happens is when it's time to, like, after you get married and you're like, it's time to have a baby and you get off birth control, most women, after they have their children, have like severe postpartum depression, but also hate their partners. They want to actually get divorced. And it's because the hormones that you were on when you were, this is like crazy story, but the hormones that you were on when you were picking your partner are not the same hormones that you have now. It's not really you.
It's just like doing drugs. Like you're not happy, you're on drugs.
Thank you. So talk to the girls out there about this birth control myth. Cause I know that you were a real huge proponent of like, there is a time and place for birth control, but like, is this really the fucking thing that we need?
I agree with kind of everything you say. Like if you have heavy periods, like you're bleeding out, something's wrong. Like that's not a normal thing. Just like how it's not normal to be bloated or have acne. Like these are common things, but they're not normal. And putting birth control or antibiotics or just like, it's just such a quick, like Western medicine, which no shame to the game. Like there's a time and a place. Like if I break my leg, I'm not putting like castor oil on it.
No,
like, I'm going to go.
Cast.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a cast. Like there's woo woo. And then there's like, okay, what are we doing here? Like if you go to the dermatologist and they talk to you for 4 seconds and say Accutane. It's like, babe, it's because you eat Cheetos for every meal.
Yes. Thank you.
But with the birth control thing, I see so many women come in. There's like a new wave of like, the bitches are clapping back. Like no one wants to be on birth control. No one wants to be on antibiotics. And that's actually, I just made a video in my app and it's called Post-Pill Rehab.
Yes.
Because so many women kept coming to me and I just was like, I need to just make a video and like give them resources. Or with the antibiotic ones, I linked like, again, lock in the non-negotiables. And then I linked like a powder, which is like, this is where I'll kind of supplement. Like if you have a gut issue, you're probably going to need like some extra boost, but like I have like a gut healing powder that I put in there for antibiotics. So I kind of gave them some tools, but with the birth control, you nailed it. It's like, it's fake. It's synthetic in your body, which means your body has to break it down and it's foreign. It's messing with your cycle, which people then will have issues that do Accutane or all these things. I'm kind of grouping it into one,
yes.
But it's difficult because women want to be on it for actually birth control. But I was put on it when I was like 15 as well. I was on it for years and years and years. But these women will be like, I never had acne and I went off birth control. My like entire life blew up and my face blew up. It's like, because your body, it's like, it's going through things it wasn't meant to go through.
Yes.
And so I tell people, they're like, what do you do for birth control? I'm like, I have a very strong faith with God. Like God knows. I know.
Pull out and pray. Pull out and pray.
They're like, really? I'm like, yeah. I mean, if you're scared, yeah, I would wrap, I don't know, condoms maybe, but birth control, it doesn't even make sense to me anymore. And I think that women are so afraid to get off of it because they see that their face blow up or whatever. Yes. But I don't think it needs to be so scary. I think that if you do a hair scan, either before or kind of right after you go. So we really lock in with what nutrients your body needs in order to be rebalanced and focus on detoxifying your body. Your body's smart. It can heal itself if you give it the right tools.
Yes.
But I'm just not down for that because we were all put on it in like when we were younger. And it's just like, for what? Because now you take it out and you still have your heavy periods. You still have acne. Like you were just putting that on pause for 10 years.
Yes.
And you need to build your body back up.
Mm-hmm. And also, if I'm not mistaken, again, I'm not the birth control expert, but I read a lot because I'm a nerd, as you know. And I also read that birth control changes your gut microbiome. So not just not all the, obviously we know that antibiotics will fucking kill your gut microbiome, but I've read many studies that will say that artificial hormones will also do things to your gut microbiome that aren't actually optimal for your health.
Well, yeah, I think it comes from too, like maybe they said this in the studies, but because birth control does deplete a lot of your nutrients that your gut needs to thrive or that your liver needs to thrive. And so not only are you taking nutrients away, but you're also putting your liver and all your other detox organs and pathways under more stress because it's like, what is this foreign ass shit? And then you're taking your SSRIs and you're taking your antibiotics and your body's like, I can only break down like.
Then you're drinking Celsius because you're fucking tired. And it's this whole fucking cascade of shit. And then you wonder why you're fucked up.
Yeah. And I hear people say, and I think this is why detoxes or like cleanses are so popular right now, because there's two sides of the spectrum. There's people that are like, your body can detox itself. You don't need to do that shit. And then there's people that are like, do a detox, do a detox. And I think I'm kind of the middleman.
Yeah.
I think your body, your liver, your lymphatic system, your gallbladder, your gut, they do work by itself. But when you're not giving it the nutrients, when you're sniffing these shitty candles and you're not drinking water, you're not moving, like you're not doing anything you're not giving those functions what it needs to function, then yeah, you might need to supplement. You might need to cleanse because you have mold. It's supposed to work on itself. It's supposed to work by itself. But in this modern day of like pollution, technology, all this bullshit, it's slowing down a little. So I'm kind of in the middle piece of why in my app, there's a detox part where it's like, here's to support your body on a daily basis. Don't do a crazy cleanse if your body's not prepared. You need to prepare it. And like, let's get back to reality. Why? Like, I think I'm so 0 to 100. The world is so 0 to 100 for you're either dying of mold or your body runs perfectly. And it's like, it should, but man polluted God's world. And now we need assistance.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So I want just like give us like a little kind of like soundbite of right now before the ladies that are listening join your app. Okay. Since BTW, everyone here needs to join Elle's app because it's that fucking dope. But like off the top of your head, give me like a couple of like hot takes of like if you're fucked up right now. Now, mind you, you don't know anything about their hormones. You never did a hair test. I'm just saying like good, holistic, roundabout, like let's check these boxes. What would it be to have like great health with your skin? So like a food thing, like tell me like if you were just like meeting someone off the street and they were like, yo, tell me about this. What would you tell them? So.
Okay. I sound kind of like a broken record, but
Hello. I love it.
They're the pillars of what I talk about people is the non-negotiables. So quickly with food, eating 3 meals a day that are going to be balanced with, you know, your healthy carbs, like your veggies or sweet potatoes, rice, whatever makes you feel good, your protein, and then your healthy fats, you know, like ground beef and avocado or just.
Yes. So no seed oils.
Yeah. No seed oils.
Fuck off with the seed oils, bitches. Stop fucking. Dude, Giada De Laurentiis was just on something the other day and she's like, you know, we cook with seed oils and like seed oils is not going to kill you. If like, just don't drink. I'm like, I want to beat this bitch's ass so bad because she's trying to stick up for the reason why she wants to use cheap oil in her fucking restaurants to make more money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So when you're cooking, use butter, use tallow. If you're going to use oil, avocado oil, and cook at home, meal prep. You're lazy. If you tell me that you can't do it, you're either working too much or you're lazy, you know, and like either of those
mostly are lazy, by the way.
And
it's mostly lazy.
It's not serving you. So pick a day to meal prep, shop on the outside of the perimeters of the grocery store because that's where the whole foods are. If you don't know how to read labels yet, literally just make kid Lunchables. So, you know, your fruits, your veggies, your meats, your fats, get it all in there. Eat 3 meals.
Try to eat organic.
Yeah. Organic, highest quality, grass-fed, grass-finished, pasture-raised, you know, chicken, eggs, all the things. You can get your meat from like Butcher Box or Wild Pastures, places like that you know a little bit more of the quality. And just, eating 3 meals, you can have like a snack in between. What that's going to do is it's going to fuel all your functions in the body with the nutrients that it needs. It's going to help balance your blood sugar levels. Stop skipping breakfast, you hoes.
I'm the worst with that. I hate it. I'm so nauseous in the morning. I never eat breakfast.
Okay. So here's the thing. If we were having a conversation and you said that, I would say start with something small. Don't go for your 30 grams of protein in the morning. If you never eat breakfast, start with 1 egg, start with, you know, toast with nut butter and you know, whatever, banana on it.
Right.
Another thing with food, you're like, just a quick tidbit. I'm like,
no, I love it. We don't have to be quick. We have all the time around.
If you're snacking on, say, you're like, I'm going to have a healthy snack with like apple in the afternoon, pair it with a nut butter or something just to help stabilize the sugar. So when you're having carbs, pair them with a fat protein just to kind of keep it leveled out.
Yeah. Because the insulin spikes can cause more inflammation, which can cause more acne.
Yeah. It just can cause like an imbalance in your hormones in general, because your hormones that, you know, I mean, the hormones that tell you that you're hungry, that you're full, that you're sleepy, that you're stressed, like again, more hormones than just your sex hormones. And you want to be mindful of supporting all of them. So that's kind of quickly with food. With water, stop drinking tap water. Literally you can, and your Brita sucks. So you can, I don't know if I trust the ones online. So I just we get it delivered or go to the water store and we get alkaline water because it's remineralized. So you want to have your minerals and your electrolytes. Sodium, add some mineral salt in your water because the sodium is what's going to help your body actually maintain the water and also support your body against stress. So water quickly because you want to stay hydrated. And pooping daily. If you're not pooping daily, that's why you have acne.
Yeah, I love a good shit.
Yeah, you're tough.
I do. It's one of my favorite parts of the day.
Your skin is a detox organ. So your detox organs need to be working properly. So you need to be peeing, pooping, sweating every day. Well, I mean, sweating is like.
Yeah. But people are saying like a lot of like the sweat is helping their skin detox and like saunas and things like that. Yeah, definitely.
Saunas for, you know, give or take, you know, if depending on your health stuff, but whatever, sweating is good. So having a balanced meal with like fats and stuff like that is going to help you poop. You can also drink like aloe juice in the morning. Bone broth is helpful for the gut to help you poop. Daily movement, Doesn't need to be a whole production with the 10K steps a day. Just walk around the block. That's going to get your lymphatic system moving, circulation, which is then going to help with detoxing. Managing stress. If you're doing all those other things and you're not managing stress, forget about it. So whatever that looks like for you, whether that's talking to a professional that can help you with that, going on walks is going to help. Saunas can help, breath work, journaling, like whatever it looks like for you.
Mm-hmm. Prayer, meditation.
Or just learning how to set boundaries, cutting toxic people out of your life. Like that's managing stress.
Amen.
Or healing your relationship with food. Like this is all ways to actually heal your nervous system rather than like, I meditated. It's like, hey girl, you can't like force your body into like, you can't trick your body. So work with your body. What
about sleep?
Oh yeah, that was my last pillar. So just trying to get like healthy sleep. You can drink tart cherry. That helps naturally regulate your melatonin levels. Stop taking synthetic fake melatonin. Work with your body in a natural way. Avoiding
don't watch crime fucking documentaries before you go to bed.
I used to do that. Avoid phone at night in the morning. Yeah, no, it's like, and then Ted Bundy stabbed her and raped her. And I'm like, night, what, Totally. But yeah, just that's when you're sleeping, that's your body's time to regenerate. So taking that seriously and just like winding down, reading before bed. I like to turn on a meditation that, is like 3 hours long. So I'm not stressed.
Yeah. I love that.
I mean, chamomile tea, there's a bunch of teas. Start drinking teas,
I love a good cup of tea before I go to bed. Matt likes the sleepy time tea, but like the organic one.
Yeah.
And I have a little box of it in my thing that I took and put in like a container, and I call it cunt tea. Yeah. That's what I put on it because he's a little cunt at night. He's like, "Where's my tea? If I can't drink my alcohol, I need my tea." And I'm like, "Oh, that's your cunt tea." I'll text you a picture of the cunt tea later because I really mean it. So every time he takes the tea out, he has to take the tea out that says cunt tea on it.
Yep. So drink some of that.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of like my flash course if I saw someone on the street.
Now, if girls want to work with you, one question that I get, because people ask me all the time, will you also give them a skincare regimen and ship? Like, so if someone lives in like, Florida and you're in Southern California and they're on your app and they're working with you and you give them their skincare regimen, will you sell them the skincare as well? Will you tell them what to buy? Tell us how that works.
Yeah. So I do free discovery calls. So you can find that on my website, thelookskinandwellness.com.
All this will be in the show notes too, guys.
Yeah. So under my virtual programs, the tab there, you can book a discovery call or you can just sign up on the app and just do your own thing. We don't work together. But when we do work together, also on my website, I have my shop because I kind of cherry pick products. You can shop on my website. I usually ship it out that day or the next day anywhere in the US. And yeah, it's just super easy. Like everything that anyone would need is on my website. And then we check in before you would need to buy more products to make sure that we're on the same page, and we just keep updating it. I keep it all in a Google Doc. I tell you exactly how to use it, when to use it, how much to use it. On the Google Doc is also how much or like what wellness tips that we're working on. And yeah, so that's kind of like the process that everything's just on the website. It's super easy.
Hi, Charles.
Yeah.
Shout out to Charles.
Yep. Charles is
I love it. Hey, we do live with people in our houses. It can't be like a podcast recording studio. Matt's probably
in the middle of my living room. I'm like, get out.
Oh, girl, please. If I didn't have my podcast recording room in my house, Matt would be like literally sitting on my lap right now. So I know all about it. This is so exciting, dude. I want to just say I adore you. You obviously know that. I'm going to suck your dick for a second. But I'm just so proud of you because when I first started working with you, you were like doing such amazing things, but I'm so blessed that I got to work together with you and co-create this app and what you're offering the world because you're so talented, you're so gifted. And if anyone deserves incredible success in this arena, it's you. And I want you to know that from the bottom of my heart. I believe it and I feel it. And I know that, I do not blow smoke up anyone's ass. So what you've created is so incredible. I hope that each and every one of these women that are listening to the Ambitchious podcast reach out to you, get on a discovery call with you, sign up for your app. If you're in the Southern California area or if you are visiting, reach out to Elle. She gives a fucking hell of a facial in real life. But if you can't see her real life, we have the app, we have the mentorship that you're doing with people's skin. And I just think it's so amazing. And also you guys have to follow her on her Instagram. Her Instagram is like my favorite thing. I always share your Instagram stuff on my Instagram as well, because it's just so good. And you also have like your kind of more personal Instagram now, which is more like your kind of background lifestyle, along with the Look Skin and Wellness, which is more like your business and your skincare brand. So all of that stuff, guys, will be in the show notes, her website, her Instagram, all her social media handles, how to work with her. Any parting words today for the ladies out there in Ambitchious land? A little stress.
Yeah.
A little stress.
Pressure. I just hope that people can take something from what we talked about today. I love that your podcast offers a lot, or I guess any podcast offers just like free information where you can start trying things out, seeing what works, doesn't, then take the opportunity to like work with me if you want further assistance. But yeah, I just hope that people got something from our podcast today. I'm so excited that we finally got to do it. We've been talking about it for months. So thank you for having me on.
Oh my gosh, my pleasure. The girls are going to learn so much. And I know that they're going to even learn more when they join your app and start working with you to get their skin to optimal levels. But like you said, like I help women start their healing journey. So just so everyone out there in Ambitchious land knows, this is not just about putting fucking lotion and potion on your face. This is so much deeper. It's about healing every aspect of yourself, from, mental, emotional, physical, energetic, and boundaries. I mean, everything that we talk about in Ambitchious is literally what you're also doing, but in the realm of skincare and just healing yourself from the inside out, because it is an inside job.
Yep.
It really, truly is. I'm so glad that we got to do this. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. And everybody check out all of the stuff in the show notes and start working with Elle. Your life is going to change for the better, I promise. And if you don't and you have fucked up skin, I don't want to fucking hear about it, because we're giving you all this shit on a fucking silver platter. So step up or shut up. That's like that's like my 2025 like motto. Step up or shut up.
I love it. I'm
just so sick of people just talking yappa, 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 and they don't fucking do anything about it. It's like, dude, there's so many resources out there.
Yeah.
Like people have no problem scrolling fucking TikTok all day. But then when it's like, oh, I have to meal prep. What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have to go and like learn about why my, taking antibiotics my whole life probably fucked up my gut microbiome. And that's why I have juicy fucking cystic acne on my chin. What? Like, it's just wake the fuck up, people. And like, as Lil Wayne would say, smell the pussy. Seriously.
And that's a wrap.
Wake up and smell the pussy. Oh my God. I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. Ladies, check her out. And in the meantime, don't forget to stay ambitious, and I will see you next Tuesday.